Hello, welcome to Irons United for a gift of the gab. Here we're going to be talking all things West Ham, all the latest news, gossip, and all the heartache and negativity, I suppose. Well, I'm joined here by the mercurial Dan. How are you, mate?
Not bad, Al. Thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Right. So, look, lots going on in the West Ham world, of course. Lots of not so good news. Lots of well, is there any good news? First of all, is there any good news to tell us, Dan? Okay, let me put it another way. We're going to get a result tomorrow out at West Brom.
Against West Brom at home, yeah, I'll see us win it. I don't see us having a rugby score against them. I think it's possibly going to be a 1-0, 2-1, nothing too fancy.
Yeah.
It depends if we got.
Are you going to get all sort of misty-eyed because Slavers and Dixie's coming back to the stadium?
No, definitely not. They are prey. They are prey in the sights. They've got to go down, haven't they?
So it's interesting.
Business is business.
Yeah,
if you see them in a pub, you'd shake their hand. But
yeah, absolutely.
On the pitch,
yeah. And if Slav wants to come on the channel and for an interview, I'd have him on, no problem at all.
Mate, I'd have him on the pitch.
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. We need him on
and
the
Dixie.
pitch. But yeah, no, it's. But you're actually right. It doesn't matter what they were before or whatever. They're another team. That's it. They come to.
I mean, no loss respect to them where it's due, but yeah, they are the opposition tomorrow.
Look, I was saying the other night, I don't think there's any difference between us and them in terms of quality. In fact, they're probably, I think Stel was saying that they're better than us in terms of, championship teams and where we are. The circus around us as a club just seems to continue on. The results, the performances just haven't given us any real hope. And that's just feeding this kind of mass negativity, mass anger, I suppose, towards the club, the board, and everything. I mean, what can we do as a club to improve our situation? What can we do? I just lost down there. Well, this is it. I'm going to leave your comments below. Let us know what you think we can do. And just joined by Stel. Hello, Stel. How are you?
Right, I've reset my Wi-Fi, so let's see if I'm any better now.
Okay, that's good. I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking Dan, but he's had to go. And just saying, what can West Ham do to improve the situation, improve the negativity and everything? Is it just purely down to performances? Is it down to result? Is it down to getting back up the league, the league table? Or is it more of a root cause thing?
Well, it's a long-term root cause, isn't it? It's all about bad investment. The investment that's been happening over the past. Well, it goes beyond even these current owners, doesn't it? We don't buy wisely. We don't buy the right players. We don't have a system in place to make sure that we buy players that we need. We seem to go for one extreme or the other. We either go for the journeyman who have come to the end of their playing careers, or we go for these expensive signings that don't seem to fit in with our the way we need to play. Like kind of a couple of times now, how Leicester do their business, where they have a project, and they say, right, when we buy players, it's going to fit into this system, into this scheme. And rather than us doing something similar, we either go for players who like nurses to the end of their careers, or we go for players. We go and buy a £40 million player who doesn't fit into how we play. Everyone's having a go at Allaire. It ain't Allaire's fault that we're not playing to his strengths. And then we've got the other end of the extreme. We've got right back once every 2, 3, 4 days. When his legs are completely gone, and So it's like I get why fans are all upset and disappointed, but it ain't just happened now. This has happened well before this current board.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not a board.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
It has got
John,
ways as well.
Yeah, sorry, Stel.
Let's hope this works.
To cut a long story short, ladies and gentlemen, Stel was about to say it's the West Ham way. It's always been
and
like
it's
this.
Norman Collier on the feed.
It is,
isn't it? Actually, Norman Collier in disguise. For younger viewers, you probably won't know who Norman Collier is. Even Dan doesn't know who Norman Collier is. Do you, Dan? Listen, I'll tell you what. Look, here's the question. Not a serious question, but a question for you. There's the whole fan base. Let's just say we are united in our dislike, for want of a better word. I'm trying to be nice here, of the board and the way the club is run. So let's just say we are united in that. Here's a question I'll put to you. Let's say you have £5 billion in the bank, right? You are a big industrialist,
Yes.
right? What would you do? What would you do? First of all, would you even invest? Would you even buy West Ham? Second of all, what would you do? Dan, over to you.
Ooh, would I buy West Ham or would I buy
Dan.
the stadium just to annoy the owners?
Yeah.
I would invest. I wouldn't buy it outright.
Yeah.
I would invest and want a mutual share with whoever's there. I wouldn't want to buy it outright. It's a big loss.
Yeah.
And it's too. I think football clubs nowadays, they're too big. There's too many fans. There's just too much responsibility on one person for one person to be the go-to and end all. It's too political. It needs many shareholders rather than one person to get greedy. Yeah. I'm not saying I'd be greedy, but you never know. You might get run over by a bus tomorrow, and that's it. What's happened to the club? No one can run it. No one knows what they're coming or going. Got to pay the wages. So more of a consortium. But I'd rather, if I was going to say, I'll spend 200 million on West Ham, then I'd rather spend rather than buy it outright, or I'd rather have 10% for 200 million and find 9 other idiots willing to put that money in for that and build a foundation. Not go out and buy players, but build a foundation.
Right. I'm totally with you.
Own the stadium, own the ground.
Yeah.
Own the bits around it.
That's exactly the way I would do. I would not invest in the squad.
And
even if that meant us going down, I would not put money into the squad. What I would do if I was coming in to buy West Ham, which I'm not sure I would anyway, even if I had 5 billion in the bank, I would say, right, okay, we start at the bottom. It's training, it's academy, it's infrastructure. Make sure the club is run properly as a proper footballing business, not as a business, but a proper footballing business. And give whoever, have a proper independent director of football there, not somebody who's a mate with a manager or whatever. Have somebody in there, have a proper coaching staff, proper medical team, everything that we don't have, a proper scouting system, everything there. That's what you invest in, because you actually
foundations. You need the foundations.
An investment.
When you get to situations, what we like it us, you don't want to be scrambling around trying to get loan players. You want to have a load of lads that are coming up that you've had since they were 8 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, going, let's give him a chance. He's due a chance. He's impressed the last few months.
Yeah.
Let's put him in.
Yeah.
We've got injuries. We've got a cup game. We've got this many names. Not having the likes of Martin Samuelson, who I believe debuted against Charlton in a friendly a few seasons ago, played for Werder. I think he might have even played up to Astra. Goes out on loan, wins Player of the Year. Goes out on loan again, wins Player of the Year again. Cut the season along, get rid of him. Not actually played a league game for us. We want players like that coming up through the ranks since they're young, getting their head in the game.
Yeah,
it's all right. I think a lot of reason why we have trouble with players, we spend all this money buying players from far-flung countries, throwing stupid money at them, while we've got players from the UK earning small percentages in comparison with the likes
Yeah.
of Rice too, and you get from, say they come from Spain over here, you get the ball, someone's on you, they don't know what to do, and we're going, oh, we spent all this money on a striker, and they trap the ball, and there's no first touch. We've had it so many players. We need players that are familiar with the Premiership game, coming up, living it before they're playing it.
Yeah. What about you, Stel? What do you reckon?
Well, what I
Stel.
do,
Stel
I try
is
and run it
frozen.
like.
He's just come back from Spain, so it's a bit cold for him.
Yeah, he's
Can you hear
frozen. You're breaking. You're in and out. You're in and out. A bit like our form this season. There we go. Let's bring in Ant. Ant, how are you? Have you been listening?
Hello,
I've been asking.
I'm on my own here.
Okay.
I can only see myself.
Okay. Well, listen. This is a question. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Right. Here's a question for you. You have £5 billion in the bank.
Yeah.
Would you? There's two questions. First of all, would you buy or invest in the club in West Ham?
Yes.
And if you did, what would you do?
Everything. £5 billion is a lot of money, and I would 100% invest the money. I heard all your answers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would start from top to bottom. I'd get us safe this season, and I would start my. I would get the right manager, give him the right backing. Like you said, get a proper director of football in.
Yeah.
Get a proper scouting system in place. Get the facilities from the youth set up in place. Make sure the training facilities are the best. Make sure the staffing issues are the best. Make sure there's people want to be there. Unity, everything. Yeah, 100%. I would.
So,
I'm not saying I'm not investing in it as a businessman to make money. I don't think there's money to be made in modern day football.
No.
But if an investor has £5 billion, are they in stuff really to be making money? I mean, do the owners of Manchester City look at Manchester City and think, oh, let's go and make this, make that?
And I think that's essentially where we are failing as a club, that our owners are there to make money out of the club. They are making money out of the debts that the club owe them, as opposed to, let's say, Sheikh Abdul Ahmed or wherever, or some oligarch from Russia coming in saying, right, I've got billions and billions. This is going to be my little plaything. Thanks very much. And I'm just going to throw millions and millions and millions at it because you know what? If it breaks even, who cares? I don't want a Ferrari. I don't want a yacht. But I'll tell you what I do want. I want bragging rights over my mates down the private club. I've got a football team. There we go. And we're doing really well. That's what it's about nowadays. You're absolutely right.
We said basically last night that you just look at someone like Leicester City who can invest in big, medium, small time players at all different ages, but they all work. And it's none of this, the more I think about the statement, you go and buy a player at 45 million just to appease the fans. But at the end of the day, the manager does scout that player if he's scouted at all. So there's got to be a bit of onus on that. But Leicester City invested in their youth setup. They invested in everything to do with Leicester City from top to bottom. Invested in the fans. We said last night that they give them free pies, they give them free beer, they give them free away travel. What do we get? Literally, what? I mean, I'm not wanting freebies from everything, but you want a reward. The away fan base need a reward, and I seen tonight or today the board have gifted the fans 3 away game for free travel for the next 3 away games, and it's just a little bit too little, too late. It's small little steps, but they should have been taking them steps. 3-4 years ago when they were making the move, knowing all this money was going to come in. It's just not enough for me, to be honest. And then putting a scarf on every single seat in the away end, that's a starting thing. Buying everyone a pint, that's another starting element. They just don't help themselves. I'm sorry, they do not help themselves. What are you saying, Dan?
Dan is just giving you a thumbs up.
Not only is it, I was saying hello to Neil from down under. He's
Hello.
6:45 in the morning on a Saturday.
Thanks
and
for
he's tuned in.
joining.
But
Thanks
just
for
to
joining.
go on what Ant said, not only is it not only are you saying it's years late, it's also weeks or months late because people, again, like when it happened a few weeks ago, people have already booked their trains. They've already booked their hotels because they can't get back in the morning.
Yeah, do you know what?
And all of a sudden the club said, we'll give you return tickets. People have had to take time off work, not thinking they could get home. They've booked hotels. They've already done a couple of £100, if not more.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they've gone, we're going to give you free travel. Like, yeah, it's a good start, but come on. You got to be there when they go on sale.
Thank you for joining, by the way. Sorry. Carry on. Sorry, I just saying hello to Darren.
It's just a valid point, Dan. I didn't even think like that. You know, I wasn't even remotely commending the board for even giving the away fans the free travel. But, you know, it's small steps that should have been taken years ago. But I didn't think like that. I didn't think, of course you need to book in advance. People are already a couple £100 down, 50, 100, whatever, 200 quid down. And it's just that it from top to bottom, it's rotten from the core. And
look, well, let me ask you a question, another couple of questions. What does a football club, mean to you? Because I tell you now, I know what it means to me, but what does it mean to you? Any club, it doesn't have to be West Ham, a football club. What does it mean?
Unity,
family.
Yes, yeah, family, unity.
It is a what we call a symbiotic relationship. You know, the club and the management, the ownership need us, and we need them. It needs to be together like that. And West Ham, as a club, we're like that. We're so far apart in terms of fan base and where
do you know what? On that, you've got a mixture of online, offline West Ham fans. You know,
correct.
Let's rewind back to the first ever protest that ever happened many moons ago, back under the old boards. When there was protests left, right, and centre. There was no such thing as social media then.
I was there.
Yeah, there was an uprising. There was Hi, Darren. There was an uprising, but it wasn't every single fan. But there was this, you know, there was an uprising. You can't take him serious. And but this time around, you've got this split fan base. You've got, in my opinion, I do call them a vocal minority that are online, and you've got a vocal majority or not so vocal majority offline. Yeah, and but even when they're online, they're also broken. Yeah, even on, like, if you were an outsider looking in and judging the West Ham fan base by looking online, which I certainly don't do, you would think we were rotten to the core as a fan base. Yeah. And do you know what? See, by doing things like this channel and being involved in this group, you know, I mean, some of the stuff we get thrown our way, like, and it's West Ham come first before this channel. Correct. 100%. 100%.
For me. Yeah, absolutely.
But I can't believe that people would, like, a fellow West Ham person, because you have an opinion on a player like Dimitri Payet or an opinion on a player, can be absolutely tore to shreds. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen in person. It would not happen in person.
Yeah. That's interesting. For me, I do the old-fashioned way. You know, if you've got a problem with you, if I've got something to say, I'd much rather say it to your face. I'd much rather say it on a phone conversation, not over this, Twitter or Facebook or whatever, kind of messaging or commenting, because, everybody starts misunderstanding each other. Everybody starts getting the wrong end of the stick, and everybody, some people, let's say, start saying things that really they shouldn't be saying. And we could all be guilty of that. Of course we can. We could all be guilty of that. But that's the reality of it. And I'm absolutely convinced. I'm totally with you, Ant. For me, it's football and it's the club first, my support for that. And if that meant that that was in conflict with us as Irons United, I'd say, well, I'll give up Irons United. It's as simple as that. Because it's the actual support of the fans. Where it comes a problem is that you really want the club, but it comes back down to this sort of relationship between the fans and the actual club itself. When that starts to break down, then all of a sudden you're starting to wonder, well, what the hell are we doing? Should we really, put all our faith and all our, loyalty to a club that actually doesn't give us anything back? And that is not the club per se. That is the way it's run, the ownership of that club. So if you've got an oligarch somewhere, or whatever, you're saying, this is my toy thing, but I'm going to have a great running club, but I'm also going to invest in the relationship between the club as a tangible thing and that intangible relationship between the fans. If I'm going to invest in that, then that's what I'm going to focus on. And our board have not done that from day one.
Can I bring a point up then while we're talking about that? Today there's been apparently an announcement talking about the Liverpool away game, about protests in the stands, about wearing black balloons, blah, blah, blah. Dan, over to you. What are your thoughts on, I don't know if you've seen that stuff that's been out today. What are your thoughts particularly about that type of protest? Or just...
Hasn't that been done? Isn't that been the last 3 seasons at Charlton, last 3 or 4 seasons over at Charlton Athletic, wearing black and white scarves and throwing black balloons on the pitch and blah, blah, blah. And I go back to where I said that football for me is about family. You said unity. And there's a reason I disagree with that, is because people are entitled to have different opinions, different ideals.
Yeah.
And with this negativity, there's so many groups that have broken off, so many groups with their own ideals where they want people to support them or followers or whatever. But there's a big thing where if you do not agree with them, they see you as against them.
Yeah.
You're not a real West Ham fan and blah, blah, blah. That's not unity. That's not unity. That's family, because you can bloody fall out with your family, but you're still stuck with them, West Ham and other West Ham fans. So people need to realise we should be united. You know, it's in the name, for God's sake. Just because you disagree with someone's opinion doesn't make them your enemy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't make them wrong. Doesn't make you wrong.
No,
you just got different ideals.
Where are you at with the protest then? The particular protest that I spoke about with the Liverpool away game, Dan?
I wouldn't take part. That's for sure.
Can I ask you why?
For me, if you're going to protest, I'm not against people protesting. I'm against what it leads to. Do you know? It always goes a bit far, and it always becomes them and us. Those of us that have this ideal, and those that are against the ideal, and it's not the fans against the club. It's this group against that group against that group against that. There's no ideal. You can have, you can have 50 people there protesting, but there's still 2.5 people that don't. People going on about this 10-point plan. Like point 1 was a decent manager. Point 2 was we want high class, world class players in, and then like point 7 is we want to reduce the debt to 0, reduce the deficit to 0. How are you going to bring in world class plus managers? Spend all that money while reducing debt. It doesn't work unless you think by magically getting into the Champions League, it's going to go, all right, here's all this money, get rid of your debt. It doesn't work. The owners own the debt. You know, they lend out the money, they take it back. You know, it's out of one pocket and then coming back in the other with interest.
Yeah.
Do you think?
What are they protesting about? No one can give a definite answer of what they're protesting about. It's all aggressive, negative. You're not one of us. You're not a real West Ham fan. And I'm not talking about any group in particular. It's just all of them.
Do you know what? On what you're saying there, Dan, very quickly, like I do keep reading posts left, right, and centre online, and I'm going to stress this because for me personally, I only see it online. That they are trying to continually say that they are going to try and remain calm. They don't want to incite any anger.
I've heard that as well.
I've seen other posts that have tried to incite anger, which do frustrate living daylights out of me. I completely couldn't. Oh,
let this jerk in. There goes everyone's internet.
Yeah, so you got problems there, mate.
I just want to say that although I've gone on that rant about every group, I do not have the answer. It sounds like I'm criticising, which I suppose I am in a bit, but I don't have the answer. Something needs to be done, but what? I don't know. But
I wonder
There's
if
noise coming.
I
There's
don't want to
noise
be
coming
part of the
back in.
escalation.
Yeah, I wonder
What people see as a cure to become more of a problem, and I don't want to be a part of that. For me, football at the moment is a couple of hours over the stadium, which is in the middle of 6 hours of drinking time with my mates. You know.
Yeah. I wonder if a lot of the problem is because there's been a total lack of transparency from the club, from the owners over the years in terms of the way they've run the club, the way they've financed the club, so that this leads to within the fan base having different opinions. They all have different opinions about, is it a good thing, a bad thing? Has it been really run badly in terms of lives, or has it been run badly in terms of incompetence? So you get all these differences of opinion, and it's not exactly, as I say, there is no consensus opinions throughout the fan base. Now you get, protests from a couple of years ago. Now you get this new protest that's starting.
Guys, I can hear loads of comeback on all the chat.
Yeah, that broke up. It broke off, tailed up towards the end. But when you say lack of transparency, what I think you mean is blatant lies from the board, which have either come true, have come out a year later or come out 4 years later.
Yeah. Stel, you turn your sound off, mate. I think Stel's getting in and it's causing problems for us. So I do apologise for this.
It's this guy. It's this guy.
Yeah, it's him. It's him. That one.
Him up there. Him up there.
This guy. This guy.
Right.
This
Stel,
guy.
disconnect yourself, please.
Stel, disconnect from your laptop and go on your mobile phone. Go on your mobile phone. Go on 4G in your mobile phone.
Forget your laptop. It's not working for you. There we go.
That's it. We can hear it now.
God.
So,
hello, lads. Welcome back. Everybody, welcome back to Orange United. Sorry.
No,
about
I
that.
think.
He's probably on a plane somewhere.
Personally, I think the way if people want to protest, I'm absolutely for that. If people want to show and draw media attention to the proper problems at West Ham, I'm all for that. But as most people say it's got to be done in the right way, and I think they have started off, as far as I can tell. I was at the protest when I saw it, I was listening to it. It seemed fine, and what I've seen since has been fine. You're absolutely right, Hans. They are making, proper voices to say that we've got to do this properly, and I think that's absolutely right. The only problem is with any of this, it's anger at the way our performances will be in the next few games, anger of our league position, and then all of a sudden people start saying things and doing things that they may or may not be responsible for, or they may not even be associated with a protest movement. Then all of a sudden it gets out of hand, and that's why I think they've got to be really careful, because if they want to unify the fans in terms of our condemnation of the board, of the ownership, then that's the way they've got to do it. But just like anything, we have a bad result and all of a sudden people start tweeting, oh, we should do this and we should do that. The problem is people start saying that, then other people start thinking, yeah, we'll jump on the bandwagon and we'll start saying that. The next thing you know, it's stopping people and families with kids, let's say, go into the stadium, and all they want to do is just go and watch West Ham and watch some football.
I think I've seen some stuff getting shared around some sites left, right and centre from the other day about saying enough is enough and let's cause bother and it was a bit of like, I don't know, there was a couple, I think there was a few that were going around, I felt like it was more inciting anger and hatred and the potential for problems to happen. And I think I put in the group saying, I'm desperate to take my 3-year-old son, nearly 4-year-old son to a game. And I know there's problems, but I don't want there to be the threat of any form of violence. But I tell you something, you're going to stop me from going into a game. No, you're not. Nah. And there's going to be thousands of fans that are going to turn up the same. And this is what people need to realise. This is where the problem's going to be. I'm not against people protesting, but they are a minority right now, and until they are a majority, things need to be done in the most respectful, professional manner that they can possibly think of. So if you're going to protest at Liverpool, I think I said earlier on, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to wear black. I hate the board. I may sing a couple of songs that are got a good rhythm, you know, like all that sort of stuff. But I'm not going to be sitting there inciting hate. I ain't going to run on the football park. I'm not going to fight my fellow fans. I'm not going to do any of that. And I'm not saying some groups are saying that. I'm just saying that I think it needs to be done in a professional manner. I'm for it if you want to. It's live in front of the cameras. It's the best platform for fans to get a point across to the world, I suppose you could say, to the media. And that's, you know, there's going to be millions of people watching that game because it's Liverpool. It's the potential champions of the league against West Ham. And there's definitely a platform for it. But there's also, you know, imagine that platform. Imagine the protests that take a bad turn. Just imagine we're live in front of millions of cameras. Yeah. It's just going to be the worst thing ever. So people or fan bases inciting hate, you know, anger, fighting, all that sort of stuff is the wrong way to do it, in my opinion. And that's a fact. It's in my opinion, but I think it's in many people's opinions. Causing a ruckus, even advertising the fact you want to cause a ruckus, or I need to be careful what I say here because we live in this modern world where people say, I didn't particularly say that. I didn't call you a wanker. Well, you didn't call me a wanker, but you incited that I was a wanker. Yeah. That doesn't make it any better. Yeah,
absolutely. You know? Yeah. I suppose, as I said, you know, from one of my first, you know, shows after the protest as well, and after the first one as well, you know, the very first one when we was going to march, I was up for it. I was going to say, right, I'm definitely there. I'm going to take my lad with me because they were all, you know, saying it was going to be a family-friendly protest, a proper protest where it is, you know, a demonstration of it. Then it all got out of hand, and I said to my lad, sorry, I'm not taking you. I cannot risk taking you. So, you know, there's lots of people who were burned from the last time. Yeah. And that's what they've also got to get people on board to say, actually, hold on. And don't get me wrong, they're actually doing the right thing. Actually, right now, in my opinion, they are doing this in the right way and they are saying the right things. I just wonder, as I say, how much attention is going to be drawn to it, and will it eventually change anything? I mean, this is the thing. Is it going to change anything? I'm not sure that it actually will anytime soon. So then it comes down to what will affect change. What will make there be massive changes at the club? The way the club is run, the way the club is owned, the way, you know, all the backroom stuff, all the training facilities, all this sort of stuff, sex scouting. What is going to make that change? Does it mean relegation? Does it mean that it forces them to sell because they haven't got the cash cow? You know, they haven't got the cash cow that is the Premier League. What will it be? You know, I actually don't know. I mean, I don't know. I want the protest to be successful because I want the whole world to know and be on our side as fans, as to say, well, actually, the club has been in such a sorry state and has been run totally wrong for too long. And too many of these media people actually don't get it. They don't get it. They don't understand what the problem is, because all they see is London Stadium. Yeah, those West Ham, you know, those bunch of chances. They got that stadium for free. The taxpayers paying it. Yeah, they're crap, but guess what? Who cares? You know, and that's the problem. They just don't get it. They don't understand what the fans are subjected to, or what the problem is. You know, and
I don't know how many people are in the live chat just now, but if you are on, make sure you are commenting in below. Get the thumbs up on the channel. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. But we really want to see your comments on particular the protests. I think it's really key. We want to hear what everyone's opinion is. What have you thought about what we've all three of us have said in particular? I mean, I'm hopefully going to the Liverpool away game. Like I said, I won't be participating in the protests, but I think it's definitely the right place, like, to at least send a message. I don't think there's going to be changes from it in terms of obviously ownership or anything like that, but I definitely think there's definitely an opportunity for peaceful protests.
Yes.
At a particular game, and this could be a game they could do it. And if they could do it, it could be reasonably successful in terms of getting the message out to the media. So I can back that. It's just as long as people aren't inciting hate. And sometimes I see comments that are made about saying some people want us to be aggressive, some people don't. So we're going to have a middle ground. Nah, you don't have a middle ground. You just don't be aggressive at all.
And also, you can't, start, not saying physically attacking, but even verbally attacking your own fan base as well. Because if that starts happening, then you basically we're also part of the problem. You know, we've got to rise above that and be as a fan base. The problem isn't in the fan base. The problem isn't we're not causing the issues. The issues come from the club and the way the club is run. But if we can help ourselves and help spread the message just by being a united fan base, and if they can achieve that, fantastic. If they can't, then it might do more damage. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Dan, what's your kind of final take on that?
My worry is normal fans caught up in anything that goes a while. We've all been to a game where you're singing, you're jumping around, you're chanting, and then you think to yourself, hang on, this is a bit near the knuckle, this chant. And you don't realise you've been singing it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's part of having a beer, having a jump around, and will it go too far? Will it progress on to taking black balloons and whacking them onto the pitch, to progress to throwing things onto the pitch, to progress people jumping on the pitch or whatever? And any normal fan can get caught up with it. I mean,
you've seen that. Did you not see that last week with
just
the young kids?
Yeah, the 10-year-old or 11-year-old.
Was it just out of interest? Does anyone know what happened there? Does that kid now get banned?
I have no idea.
I can't imagine them not following the rules, even if it's a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
he was there Tuesday cleaning my chimney.
I have
given to me on Tuesday to sweep my chimney. So
I have
no
idea about that.
He's just a bit
no
silly.
idea.
I mean,
no idea whatsoever.
But you get that vibe that that young lad's seen some stuff in the past, and he's getting caught up in social media, and he's run on that park. And if the owners and the security are going to follow the rules, which is what, banned for life. Is it a ban for life? I think it is a ban for life under the current owners.
Yeah, guys, I'm just going to duck out for 5 minutes. Okay, hold on.
Right. That boy's pretty much ruined his.
Yeah, I think they'll probably have a look at the cameras, assess the situation. Like I say, I don't know who the boy is. I don't know who he was with or his parents are, but I'd imagine that there's been a dad in the background going, "Go on, boy, do it. Go on, boy, get on there. Go on, be a legend." Or either his dad or his mates or whatever. So I was where he was when he was dragged down the tunnel, and he was scrapping. He did not go quietly. He was still fighting the security off and dodging and trying to get back to the pitch. So I mean, fair play to him. He was not giving up like you expect a young'un to. But where does it stop? This is what I'm saying about people doing things they wouldn't normally. Have a couple of beers. All right, he probably didn't have a couple of beers. Probably had a couple of Pounder Pops, blue lemonade, and some blow Smarties, and got out there.
Well, I'll tell you what,
it could happen to anyone.
You'd be surprised, mate. I remember a couple of times going to the Boleyn, and in particular, there was one time I was there on my stag do. Actually, I brought a group of 25 of my mates, of which some of them had been to West Ham before. Some of them live down here, are West Ham fans. And quite a few of them are not West Ham fans and not football fans, but we all went to Upton Park. But we went to the Boleyn, and off we had was
fucking
a little kid.
Tourists.
Yeah, a little kid was sitting there, and he was he had a pint in his hand. And one of my mates, who's like a key worker, social worker, turned around and said, "Oh, where's your dad?" He said, "Oh, he's in the toilet." He said, "Oh, you're holding a pint for him?" He said, "No, I'm drinking it." He took a big whack of the beer. I kept drinking it the whole time, and my mate was sitting there like this. Oh my god! Like, what is going on? Like,
I cannot put anything down on that, because I don't know about you, but when I was a kid and I went to football with me dad and whatnot, I had a pint, and if anybody asked, it was a shandy.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I'm just saying.
remember,
I was just stating the fact that maybe that young lad was flying high.
I think it was 93. The Spuds had beat us. I think it was Boxing Day. They'd beat us 3-1, and in I think it was early March, we went there and beat them 4-1. I was 13 years old, and I've still never been as drunk as I have been.
Listen, we're not condoning drinking alcohol, but maybe we.
But we're not saying it's bad, because as a West Ham supporter, well, you will need that liquid support.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, before the comment that just came up there was actually Luke, who's part of Irons United. He wrote there, "Will peaceful protests really make a difference?" And will fighting make a difference? Absolutely not. What will fighting do? Get people stadium bans, not be able to support their club ever again, and new fans will come in, take their place, and will make not a single bit of interest. I couldn't think of anything worse than inciting fighting. Not saying you're saying that, Luke. I'm just saying people are. I've seen it, and it's a total, in my opinion, it's the biggest embarrassment.
I've been in
club.
some sticky situations at football. I don't go out looking for trouble, and as you know, we go to places like Burnley away, and we go the night before. We go and see local bands. We have a few beers where locals have a joke, and everything's fine. But you do get yourself into some sticky situations, and you've got to deal with it. And the best way not to have to deal with it is to not be in those situations.
Yeah.
And if you're in a protest, and it is like mob rule, you know, like I was saying about singing, you're in there with 3,000 geezers, all being aggressive, and before you're realising it, you're singing a song that could get you banned, or you're banging on the hoarding in the stands or what have you, and it could go, it'll go to Bubbles, who took the flag out, who is part of one of the other protest groups we've talked about, took the flag out to the centre circle. Lovely guy. You wouldn't think he did it, but he did it. It all got a bit too much for him. And as far as I know, and it could happen to anyone. We've all got that frustration in us where you just want to do something. We all have many, many times gone, fuck it, I ain't coming to this shithole no more. I've had enough of this. This is bollocks. I don't care if I get banned. And it's just one step away from that bit. And if there is protests in the ground and everybody's been negative and everybody feels that way, there's a possibility that things could go a bit pear-shaped.
Yeah.
And it won't help matters.
Yeah.
Because all they'll do is they'll ban us. And when I say us, I mean us proper West Ham fans, knowing they can ban us, well, fuck off. And then they'll bring in these people on their Thomas Cook fucking holidays, sell them a package, and they're paying 150 quid for a seat and a walk around the stadium.
And they're there to
buying
see
their popcorn.
The opposite team. Yeah.
And they're there, and we're sat at home watching it on the box or over Dagenham or Southend, if we're allowed in the ground again, because it's the only football we can see.
Yeah.
Because we are banned from West Ham in place of anybody who wants to go.
Neil's put in there, the best thing the owners could do is appoint a world-class director of football and then step back and let him do the job he was hired for. Unfortunately, Neil, I think under the current ownership, I don't think that is possible, to be honest. I think the biggest problem we've got now and have had for a few years is I don't think we can attract... I remember the night or the day we signed Pellegrini, and there was a lot of names touted about during that time. I can't name. There was just a few other names. He definitely wasn't top of my list. I don't think he was probably top of everyone's list at that time. But he was probably maybe in the top 5, but sitting about 5th. And he got the job, and I felt slightly underwhelmed, but completely backed him because I thought, well, it's a new approach the board are taking. They brought in the director of football, Hasilos, backed him with a little bit of money. I'm saying a little bit of money because that is a little bit of money nowadays in football. And it's not worked, and then they've stepped in
football
again.
Terms, it's a little bit of money.
Yeah,
I'm back.
And they've brought in they've brought these guys in, and then they've stepped in again and got involved, and they've got a history of doing it. And Neil just wrote there, bringing this director of football, this world class guy, and let him step back. The board won't ever step back. So unfortunately, I don't think under the current board there's a manager out there that's going to come and take the job. I think they look at it like a poison chalice. I'm intrigued to know if the board were looking at other managers, would they have looked at Ancelotti? And if they would have looked at Ancelotti, would we have stood a chance of getting an Ancelotti? I'm not trying to say Ancelotti would have made any difference because I don't think he would have under the current board.
Yeah.
I don't think any manager can do under this current board. So therefore, I don't think any director of football can do under this current board. And that's I'm not saying anything new. I'm saying stuff I said. The minute our transfer window shut, before the season started at the new stadium, when we did not sign the world class striker we were told we would sign, that was the minute my head turned with the board.
So who did we sign that first
Zaza.
season? Yeah. Who else?
Tory, Nordveit, Finguli,
Zaza on loan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like and
It's like countdown, isn't it? That's how they work out players' names these days.
It was like Europa League football. Let's sign up 12 half-hearted players to bang in our squad. You know, we've got the whole setup wrong. We're going to be playing more games in Europa League, so we need to fulfill our squad. So we'll just sign 12 players. There's no real thinking behind the 12 players that they signed.
Yeah.
Or we don't need to fulfill our squad. We need quality. So let's just throw £45 million at players just to get them over the line. I'm not so dead against players like Felipe Anderson. I'm not like everyone or what you see in social media. I actually think there's a player there. I actually really do. And I think we should be building team in and around the sort of player he is, because when he plays in behind the front two, and players can, no other West Ham player can think as fast as what he can. Don't care what anyone says. They don't. He gets the ball, he thinks up, he looks up, and everyone's sluggish and gets the ball and wants to pass it back.
Yeah.
So Anderson's style of football's got to change. Everyone's style of football's got to change. Sebastian Aller is sitting there going, "What the fuck is happening here?" I'm not getting supported. What do you want me to do? You want me to work hard for the team?
It comes down to just playing to the players that you got and playing to their strengths. If you got a big man up front, you play to his. You know, we never did it with Carroll whenever he was available. We never did anything with Hernandez because, you know, we all thought he was crap, but he never really got the service. You know, and it's Anderson, you know, playing him in the right position. What about getting the ball in the width, you know, the pace and all this kind of stuff. It's a whole catalogue of errors, you know, and it doesn't matter who our manager has been. We basically had the same issue. Players not being played properly. We're not playing the tactics to the game, to the players that we have. We're trying to play tactics of some kind of team that we just don't have, that we are not. You know, so what's the point? What's the point in trying to buy these players if they just don't fit, as we've already said? What's the point in buying a player that actually you're not going to play to their strengths? What's the point in buying Haller for 40 odd million or 42 million, whatever it is, and you're never going to service him right? What's the point? You might as well just buy, Tim Jones from, Accrington Stanley or God knows who, wherever, and just put him up there.
Accrington Stanley? Who are they?
Well, you know what I mean? Whoever. Whoever. It could be any. It could be a non-league. It could be a non-league player. You stick him up there, and he would be just as successful or not as successful as Haller right now. Because if you don't play,
completely agree.
You don't agree. Well, you do.
No, I agree. I do agree.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I don't know.
Exactly.
This is looking good.
Is he back now?
This is looking a lot better.
Well, let's see how long I'll be back for.
Oh, there you go. That's perfect. We can hear you now.
Yeah. Can you?
Oh, no,
yeah.
Your internet is still on holiday.
No, it's a bit.
It better not. Well, if it's still not good, I'll come back off again.
Here we go. Look, we've got something from Neil here. This is good. Let's get back on track, shall we? Let's talk about the gaming FA Cup. Look, Neil says, and good morning to you, Neil, because you're all the way in Australia. He says,
I agree.
I start the FA Cup game against West Brom with a Jetty, or whatever his name is, and Haller up front, as we've really got nothing to lose.
Well, it's quite possible Yeti will start because we've got 8 players out at the moment.
Yeah.
Because we heard today that Masuaku is injured and there's someone else, I can't remember who it was. Well, obviously Anderson's injured. So we've got 8 players out. So the team almost picks itself at the moment because I think against Leicester, we only had 16 first-team players available, and
Yeah.
we've lost another 2 since then. So now that means we've got 14 first-team players available. Now that's pretty dour. And
Yeah, I mean,
that means Ayeti's quite likely to start tomorrow. And I think we were trying to work out who the hell would start at right back, because I can't work it out if anyone has done since our last chat. But yeah, Neil, I reckon Ayeti will start by default, not by design, but by default. You know, we'll have Antonio available, of course, but I think Antonio might have to end up playing in midfield or even at right back. And just as you just said, David, where the Masters are playing players in the wrong positions, and I think tomorrow's going to end up being forced on us. We're going to end up playing players in the wrong positions because we just don't happen to have a proper squad. Everyone's injured.
Right, Stel, what's it talking about? Wrong players. Have you heard any transfer rumours? Anybody coming in?
Well, there's the player from Nottingham Forest, right back, whose name I can't remember. Who apparently we've made an offer for. I'll try and look it up in a minute. But apparently, if anyone can tell us,
are these all loan players though, or these are
no? Apparently, this was an offer to buy. He's a Nottingham Forest right back, and apparently the offer has been declined. We offered 10 million plus 2 million add-ons.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest want a lot more. And that's usual of us, isn't it? You know, we never offer near the asking price. We offer, why don't we give you this much, and then we'll give you the rest over a period of 89 years.
Yeah.
At £1 a week. You know, that sort of rubbish.
But let me ask you: is he a first-team player for Forest?
Yeah. Apparently, there are a lot of teams looking at him. Apparently, even Real Madrid are looking at him. Now, there you go.
Wow.
You know, so. But do you remember the last player who was playing for us and went to Real Madrid on loan? Right back? No?
The last player who was playing for us?
Last player who played for West Ham and went out on loan to Real Madrid. Faubert. Do you remember him?
No.
No.
Really? Did he?
This was some time ago. Dan, you must know.
Faubert, the French guy.
The French player.
He didn't go to Real Madrid.
We loaned the player out to Real Madrid some years back.
Did we?
So yeah. So here we go. Yeah. But anyway,
what he went and played for Real Madrid, or he just moved to Madrid?
No, he went on loan to them.
What, from us? From us? Or...
From us? Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're making that up.
I'm going to Google it. So
I think you're making that up.
Hang on, I'll Google it.
But
no, don't do that.
Wasn't even good.
Don't do that.
No, he was rubbish.
Yeah, exactly. They can have him. I don't care. Right.
So anyway, so it's this player from Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
That we apparently enjoy. There we go. I was right. Julien Faubert went on a short loan to Real Madrid before returning to West Ham for the 2009-2010 season. There you go. Our claim to fame. And he was so
I've got to
rubbish.
check
Everyone
this. I don't
wondered
believe this. I'm getting a bit out.
You're going to Google it, are you? Anyway, so the Nottingham, so that's one of the loan deals that we not a loan deal. The current deal that we're apparently looking for,
right?
But Nottingham Forest have knocked us back.
Right. Any other players? Because I've heard we're going on for this Trussay or something from Xinjiang Orangapang or something.
I didn't catch that at all, mate. Sorry. Say that.
I don't know. There's some player from a Chinese league that we're after.
Don't believe it.
But apparently Palace are after him as well. He is right. Yeah. Yeah, Stel knows his stuff. He likes to come up with obscure things just to throw us off the scent, you know. Anyway, look, it's an interesting one.
I haven't heard about it.
He went on loan to Real Madrid and he made 2 appearances.
Right, okay.
He made 2 appearances in 2009, but he was with us 5 years between 2007 and 2012. So he went to Real Madrid on loan and made 2 appearances. He then ended up going to Elazığspor, if I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know. A lot of these places like Countdown. And then he went to Bordeaux and Kilmarnock. And then into Turku, Borneo. So yeah, it's not really a claim to fame, is it? I mean,
No, exactly.
he must have just gone there shopping or something, and they drafted him in when they had injury problems or something.
Right.
Yeah, God knows how that happened. But
I mean,
anyway, no. But Alf, the player
he
that
went
you
from
said
us
from
to
China,
Real Madrid
I've
to
not heard of him
Kilmarnock.
at all.
Right. Okay. Any other players, Stel?
There are loads, mate. I've got a big list, and I haven't got the list in front of me. But
Now,
there are quite a lot of.
Is this just
Go on.
idle rumor, speculation, load of rubbish, or is this actually coming out official sources from the club? Because I don't know about you, but I don't know about you, but you see all these reports online and say, "Oh yeah, we've been linked with so and so player." Well, who's saying we've been linked? Who's saying that? Where's that coming from?
The reason why we get all these links is because the only people that talk to the club are agents. So agents talk to the club, agents talk to the press, and all of a sudden there's an offer going in or stuff like that. Matty is the name, Forest, by the way. And so we get all these links because
he's obsessed with Forest today.
It's not scouts that are finding these links because we don't have any scouts. It's agents. So the agents will put out a story out there, and the agents will say, "Oh, we're in for so and so and so," and then that's leaked out to the press, and all of a sudden everyone starts to believe it. That's the whole
rubbish,
thing with it's the whole thing with the Fernandes. That youngster that's now gone to Spurs.
Yeah.
Apparently there was a bit of talk about him at West Ham, but what his agent did is his agent touted him to every London team in the Premier League. So he was offered to Spurs, he was offered to us, he was offered to Chelsea, he was offered to, I don't know about Arsenal, but one of those teams were going to move for him. And we had an interest only in as far as the interest was because the agent approached us rather than we approaching the player. And that's how these stories come about, and it's quite disheartening really because the fans start getting excited about all these rumors, and they think, wow, we're going to get this player and that player in, and then of course it doesn't materialize, and then the fans get really upset. Don't blame them, because we're fed. We're fed all this rubbish from a lot of primarily from agents rather than anybody else. But Moyes has said today, and this cuts down the opportunity of who we might buy. Moyes has said today that he isn't going to bring players in just to make up the numbers. He isn't going to bring players in for the sake of it. He wants young talent to come in. He wants young talent to come in that's going to hit the ground running. How many players are you going to get in the January transfer window that's going to do that? And I think I don't think I'm going to be surprised, and I don't think anyone should be surprised if we get absolutely nobody in this transfer window. To be honest with you, and I'll tell you what, we do need bodies, we do need extra players because we're threadbare. No Premier League team can go with 8 players being injured.
Isn't he a cricketer?
Who's a cricketer?
Threadbare.
Threadbare.
Freddie the Bear.
Oh, you love taking
mate.
it off on a tangent, don't you, Dan, mate?
I tell you what. I'm with you, Sal. I'll be very surprised if we get anybody in. But let's just say we do get anybody in, right? Or last minute we get a couple of players, whether it's bought or loan. The big thing is for me that we get people in now, right at the end of the January transfer window, and are they actually going to have an impact? Are they going to hit the ground running? Are they only going to find their form, let's say, towards the end of the season? Why then it's too late? So basically, we're screwed.
When it's too late. Yeah. Well, this is exactly
why
what
not
Moyes
actually
said,
just Why not just go? Why not just bring up from the ranks, bring up from the under 23s? Might as well just save all the heartache, save all the money, just blood the kids, just get them in there.
Well, the problem is we've loaned all the kids out as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think somebody mentioned it earlier on. Why we shouldn't be doing that anyway. Why are we,
Yeah,
getting rid of our youth players when actually we should just be keeping them and promoting them up there?
I can only think.
Guys, can I just interrupt for a second? Ant's trying to get back in. Can someone resend in the link in the chat?
Oh, right. Okay. Let me see if I can put him in.
Mate.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
If I put him in, it's going to try.
Finally, I can keep these guys
to your
on
question.
sync.
He's back.
Mate, the reason why we're loaning our. I think the only reason why we're loaning all our. Can you hear me, or have I gone now?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you. Your lips are moving, but you're not saying anything.
The only reason why we seem to be loaning our. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Right. The only reason
Hello,
why we
mother.
seem to be loaning
Can you hear me?
Youth players out is because we're getting them ready for the championship next season. That's the point I was going to make.
Yeah.
You know, we're loaning them all
true.
out so they get a bit of experience, so they start playing in the championship next season. I don't want to be a doom and gloomer because I'm not usually am, but that's the only reason why I can think why Nathan Holland and players like that have been loaned out. Why on earth have we loaned them out when we could have actually had them in the first team? We need players, and what better players to have in the first team than your youth players? That would have been much, much better. But it seems that we've gone the other way. And now with as I said, we're threadbare, and I don't know. I think we're in trouble.
If there's ever a time though that West Ham, like, I'm not a fan of having loads of loans coming in, blah 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 blah. But if there's ever a time in any transfer window that loans is actually potentially a good thing for West Ham, it's now, because you've got players like Ross Barkley that are available. This is the thing that really, really grains on me. Ross Barkley is apparently available for loan. And Zonzi, whether you like him or not, is a decent, proven player, is on loan. Kessie, apparently from AC Milan, is available on loan. So why don't we go and get those deals over the line to bring in these quality players in? This is the annoying thing. It's like there's one... And I tell you what, these players, a lot of them are vying for the opportunity to play at the Euros coming in the summer, so they've got a point to prove. Like, we need to be bringing in the quality that is Ross Barkley to the side. We need to be bringing in the players of Kessie. Still, I know you've gone on about him at your West Ham show for so long, but Kessie needs to be brought in, and if he's available for a loan, why are the board not going and doing it?
Stel, over to you. You frozen again. Oh, Stel. Stel's gone again. No, you're there.
I tell you what.
You're back.
Stel's gone to book a holiday on Google. You can see him.
I'm leaving.
No,
lads.
Stay.
I'm leaving the.
Stel,
I'm leaving the chat.
And I'll go.
I can't do this. Huh?
No,
stay and I'll go.
Stel, don't
you were
go.
working when I was gone.
All right then, if you gotta go, go. But don't go.
You go.
No,
you go. I'll stay. I'll go. You stay, Stel, and see if it works. Okay.
All right. Right, here we go. Look, I got another question here from Gary. We got another question here from Gary. Hello, Gary. So, sorry, it's not really the most professional live stream, but we're having a bit of a laugh as well. I can't get my head around the fact that the board aren't going going for it in the window. They do not realise we're in big trouble if we go down. Yeah, look. Why? What exactly right? Why aren't they going in for players?
Care.
Why?
I don't think they care. I think
I think somebody
go
said
down, less punters coming through the door, less money being spent at the stadium, not forgetting the money for beer, popcorn, pies, Cumberland fucking hot dogs. All goes to the trader and on to the London Committee or whatever they call themselves these days. Yeah. And then it's already making a loss. It'll continue to make a loss, and then they'll buy it, and that is the only time they'll sell is when they've got the whole fucking package worth a fortune. Yeah. And then it will go to, hopefully, won't go to someone like Red Bull. It'll be a stadium for 19 games a year, and then plus cup games, and then it'll be doing fucking drone racing and You know, MotoGP backflipping bollocks.
MotoGP backflip. What are you?
Yeah, Nitro Games. Nitro Games.
Oh,
is what I'm
yeah,
trying to
Nitro
say.
Circus. I like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I like
look,
it when they fall off. I don't like it in my stadium.
Yeah.
Get off the grass. Dougie works
Yeah.
hard. Dougie and the boys work hard to keep that grass like that. You
Well,
don't want any dirt bikes on it.
No, exactly. Right. Anyway, look, I don't know. Should we invite Stel back on? I don't know. Is he coming back on? Stel?
Why?
I don't know. Is he coming back? I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, look, it's what else can we say? We haven't really got many transfers coming in. Not a lot to talk about there. I'm sure there are rumours, loads of rumours.
No.
We could go. We keep
As
on
I
talking.
said,
we can say until
as
we're
I said
doing
on
the
Saturday.
Yeah.
We're just looking at loans. It's loans,
loans.
You're not looking at spending any money.
Well,
if we stay up, he'll get a purse.
Exactly. If loans work and they hit the ground running, I think we've got to get the right sort of players, either good championship players or, and maybe I'm with Moyes on this. You know, let's not get players if we just to fill up the roster. Forget about that. Let's just actually get players that are actually going to be of benefit. So I'm all for that.
To be honest, mate, I just go out and take 3 right backs on loan, and then keep the best one at the end of the season.
Yeah.
You know, because we've had so much trouble with that. Put the eggs in the basket, take the right back. Still just sent a message and he's given up. He can't hear anyone, and here he is again.
Yeah. Oh, Stel's gone. No, he's not. He's there. He's there again. I don't know. He just can't stay away tonight. He can't stay away. Look, listen. I think transfers, whatever. It's not even performances now for me. It's results. That's it. We just need points. As simple as that. We just need points. We've got 15 games. Is it? Yeah. 15 odd games, isn't it? To get this sorted out, to survive.
They won't get no points tomorrow.
Hey. Unless you've got a point to prove, Dan, of course. Do they have a point?
We'll drink a few points between us 3.
You know what I mean? I'm sure they'll have a point to prove there. Yeah. No, in the league. Look, I mean, look, we asked about this before. Okay, at this point now, should we still focus on the cup or go, or just go straight in on the league? For me, I would say no. You should always focus on every game ahead of you. You've got to try and win every game. Don't stand for all this
the
sacrifice
sensible
in the
part
cup.
of me says concentrate on the league, but then the West Ham fan of me says the cup is the only thing we got left. The only thing we can actually do fucking well in this season. It's the only talking point of the season. That is not negative.
Sure.
You like to look back and go, we got down to the last few. We got back to the semis in the cup. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
A nice cup run. As much as I don't want to be standing in places like Stoke freezing cold midweek.
Yeah.
But yeah, good cup run. I won't go anyway. I'll give me ticket to Stel, make him go.
Yeah.
He can do the videos.
Yeah. I'm working.
Take the wife on holiday
tomorrow.
to Stoke.
Unfortunately, I'm working tomorrow, so I won't be there either.
Well, me and Stel will be at the Supporters Club tomorrow, as we always are match day.
Yeah, be at the Supporters
Club. If anybody's got any point to say, we'll be there.
Come and join us at the Supporters Club. One of the representatives of Lions United will be there, either before or after the game. Not all of us, not all the time. Sometimes we're all there. But Stel is, and Dan, you two are usually there, aren't you? I sometimes pop in and make a guest appearance.
Yeah.
And most of the usual mugs you see on here spouting their rubbish, they'll be there. So
yeah, we're usually
if you've got something to say. You haven't even got to agree with us, even if you disagree. We're open.
Do you know what? If you don't agree with us, if you don't agree
even
with
more
us,
so.
And you want to have a discussion about it, brilliant. That's exactly what we want. If I'm on there and I'm saying Anderson was actually crap, and you say no, he's brilliant, come on over. You're more than welcome. That's what it's about. It's about fans' opinion. It's about having a bit of a giggle with each other, and just let's try and get a bit of positivity back. That's all I can say. At the Supporters Club.
Yeah. And win or lose, we're on the booze. So get down there, get your knees up. We've got some good music on down now.
Dan,
so if you give Stel's name at the door, they'll let you in.
Dan provides all the music. Where are you, Dan? That way.
So
over there. Provides all the music.
Yeah.
That
or if there's early games, you have the early games on the big screen.
Yeah.
Coming through the sound system.
And we've got big plans for the Supporters Club as well. Yeah, big plans. We're going to be, we're going to be there all the time. Music, bands, Oh, karaoke, dancing girl.
No, we ain't doing karaoke. We're not.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
agreeing
having
to karaoke.
strippers. We're
I'll
having
talk to them.
everything.
I'll
We're having
say no.
everything. No, we're not.
No,
No,
we're
we're
not
not.
having David Wigwam taking his clothes off. No, thank you.
No, Stel might try and do something, but we're going to throw him off the balcony if he tries to. Let's put it that way. Right. Anyway,
I'll throw myself off if he does.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I'll tell you what. I mean, it is actually stood out on the balcony. It's actually a really nice view from up there. Actually, you got a good view all around, haven't you? I mean, whether you actually
For
like
those
the
that
view
don't
or
know,
not.
it's a podium bar, or what was a podium now. I believe it's now called. Is it Roof East? And we're upstairs. So if you go to the podium bar, go around the back as if you're going towards that weird slidey contraption thing.
The
You'll see
orbital.
a guy on the door
No.
there. Give him a nod. Say Stellia sent me, and up you go.
Yeah. And they might want to, charge you, or I think you're getting on a guest. You can pay for a guest, or a member has to sign you in
about
as a guest.
£3.
£2
Yeah,
to
which
get in
Stellia's
with
were
a
happy to
member.
do.
Yeah, so a member has
Two
to
quid,
sign
two.
you in. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
if
We're,
they're
right.
we're
saying,
all members. All of us here are members. So.
yeah, we are. We are.
So say Irons United, Stellia sent me.
Yeah, and they'll go,
We'll
ooh.
get you in.
They'll go, ooh.
Yeah.
Who's that? That's usually
Who's
the way
that?
it works.
Fagan sent me. Say
That's
the guy
usually
that
the way
looks
it
like Jeff Goldblum.
Right. Anyway, look. Okay. I don't know. Should we leave it there, or do you want to carry on? I'm happy to carry on. But look, what are we going to say about tomorrow?
Has
Tomorrow,
anybody?
I'll say win. We're gonna win. We're gonna beat
Yeah.
Brom.
Not
Well,
we did comfortable win, but a win.
You know, this was meant to be a show about transfers, and we haven't mentioned one transfer. So,
All right.
but
well,
I can reel
Yeah,
off
we
a
did.
few
You
names
wasn't here.
now.
Yeah, you wasn't here. No, you wasn't here, mate. You missed that.
Did
Your
I?
mic broke up. And you went. Yeah, you wasn't here.
All right.
yeah.
Because I was.
Yeah. You were too busy.
Nah, go
spouting off
on.
about
Go on.
bloody
Let him have his mic. Go on. You can see him looking
It's
down. He's got his notepad. He's
I
done his
said-
homework. Go on. Let him
Hey.
have a bash.
I've got a great right back for you. Great right
Go on.
back from our history. How about this? Arbeloa.
Hang on, mate. You
Arbeloa.
broke up. Then say it again.
Okay. What about Arbeloa as our right back? Was he the best one?
Don't be ridiculous.
Why did he even play a minute? I don't think he even played a minute, did he?
Who's our best? He didn't even play. I think
He's our
he might
best
have played
right back.
one game. I think.
Is it?
Marco Booker's had more fucking time on the pitch than he did.
Mark,
Do you know he always
Oh,
features in
Buggers.
my top 10? He always features in my top 10 worst players of all time.
Yeah, what, number
so
two or number one?
Dan, Anton said Tim Breaker, but what does he know about footballers? He still likes Winston Reid.
Come on.
I didn't hear any of that.
Right. Anyway, listen, Stel, do you want to carry on? I need to go and do stuff like I need to grow some hair. That's what I need
Polish
to do.
your head.
Yeah,
No.
polish my head, grow my
Yeah,
hair.
polish your head.
Dan, can you give me a bit of
No,
yours? Because
no.
apparently you got too much
My
of it.
link is
Yeah,
really-
yeah. If we was next to each other still, I'd give you a bit of that. Like I'd send a
Snip
bit over
it.
like that.
Snip it off,
There you go.
and then there we go.
Snip it, and I'll fry it over.
Throw it over. Cool. Got it. Lovely.
There you
All that way. My camera's in reverse. That's the problem. That's why I keep on doing that you see, because it's anyway.
All our cameras are in reverse. We've got them on
It's
selfie
technical stuff. Technical stuff for
Yeah.
anyway. Right. Darren says, here we go. This is I think this is probably the best way to end this video. He says, I'm drunk still. Fantastic. We wish you were there. Look, it's Friday night.
And I'm getting drunk, and Dan Love's already drunk.
Is that a bit of bait? Is there, Dan? Is it?
Well, ish. It's called Ballycastle.
Oh yeah, lovely.
It's the old Audi special down the.
I do that. I'll
Just
try
as
that.
good.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Right, Stel,
Hello.
try and stay awake.
Thank you very
Try and
much.
stay awake, old man, please. Oh, there you go. Look at that. That's live pouring. That's live barmanship. That is brilliant. Right. All I can say is up the hammers. Let's go and stuff West Brom tomorrow. I say 3-1.
I'll see you all tomorrow, but not you.
And
Alf.
we'll beat
Well, I might
Liverpool
do,
on. Wouldn't you say?
You know
We'll win
what?
tomorrow.
We're
and we'll
drunk.
I'll tell you what.
beat Liverpool on Wednesday.
Okay, I'll take that
Wednesday.
bet. I'm terrible at betting. I never gamble. I'll have a quid with you, Steph.
What's this? What are you betting on?
That
go
we
on,
beat
Ben.
West Brom
We'll
and then
do
we
that.
beat Liverpool. I'll have a quid.
We're going to win tomorrow and beat Liverpool. Be the first team to beat Liverpool on Wednesday, and then we'll lose
Fucking
against
quid.
Brighton, of course.
I'll bet you our wives we don't.
Yeah. Right. Anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you probably don't know is Alf is an
No.
undercover officer. So
Don't say what I do. Otherwise, the bin men will go on strike. I'm not having that. I'm not having my brothers on the
all
rubbish
right,
ship.
all right, ladies and
Rubbish
gentlemen, what you might not know is Alf. He acts like he can't hear everything, but he's actually playing Grand Theft Auto on the screen in front of him.
I am actually. I am playing a little bit here, Steph. Not Grand Theft Auto. No, it's called Refuge Collection.
Under the Wi-Fi,
Hey, Alf, it's your cousin Vinny. We should go bowling sometime.
Do you know what? I love the program Sopranos, right? One of my favorite TV shows. But they were all into sanitation, weren't they? And right, so the sanitation. I was always screaming at the TV. Right. No, you don't pick up rubbish like that. No, that's the true story.
But we're rattling on now, so ladies and gentlemen. What you actually got from that was our owners are still complete and utter fucking mugs.
Yeah, absolutely. And
we've been Orange United.
We are.
Thank you for putting up with our broken microphone or bandwidth or.
Well, you've been all right, Dan. I've been all right, but Stell has just been a shocker tonight.
Yeah, and the Scottish one.
I don't know. Is he here? Is he not? He's gone. Oh, I don't know what's the matter. Hang your head in shame. That's what I say. Anyway, give us a live.
Typical skinhead West Ham supporter blaming all the foreigners. Unbelievable.
Oh God, I've been called many things in my time.
Oh, you've upset Stellius now. You've upset Stell.
Do you know what? Actually, we've got a joke.
Come on,
here.
Phil Mitchell. What are we doing?
We've got the joke here. Right? We've got the Italian, the Greek, and the English lad. There's got to be a joke.
Who's English?
Somewhere. Who are you? What are you? Don't you turn away from me. Don't you turn away. What you?
I tell you what. This is
the
more
Italian,
like,
the Greek, the Italian, the Greek, and the English lad are still waiting for a drink.
Still waiting for the Scottish guy to buy a round. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, look.
I'll tell you what. Hang on. Before we go, ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us. From left to right, let me just assure you, this is not an advertisement for a hair growth formula.
Do you know what? I had some. I was at the stand a couple of weeks ago, and this lad came in. He stood next to me, and he's going on about some one of the players. He goes, "You fucking bold! See you next Tuesday." Right? I won't swear on here, and then he turns around to me. He says, "No offence, mate." To me, and I went, "That's all right, none taken." You know what I mean? The problem is, I had my hat on. I was like, "How do you know I'm bald? How?"
Because only bald people wear hats. Because the rest of us don't get cold bonces.
Well, I tell you what, I was like, "All right, son, just calm down. You know, we can't help it."
And then he ran on the pitch. And then he ran on the pitch.
And he said, "Please don't chase me. I'll get my dad on you." I was like, "All right, fair enough. Stop calling me an old bold cunt." Right, anyway.
Right, are we ranting or are we going?
No, we're going. Right.
Rambling.
Listen, everybody,
bastards.
thanks very much for joining in the chat, sending your messages. Look, we're not very good at putting all the messages up, I know. But, you know, I am reading them as I go along. That's why my head is always down here as opposed to looking up anyway. But
sorry, I just need to interrupt you. We've just had another one come through from Luke on the Orange United team. When we were saying about if you had a few billion about investing, he said the first thing he would do is buy the carpenter's arms.
Okay. And what? And turn it into what?
A prop
disco, roller disco.
Nice. Hey, I like the sound of that actually. Roller disco. Right. I think 3-1 tomorrow.
Look at Gary. Gary, you like to see a photo of you, mate. Phil Collins, George Michael, and Ozzy Osbourne.
Sharon!
That's quite good, actually.
I don't mind being called Ozzy Osbourne. He's an absolute legend.
That ain't Phil Collins.
good, right, okay.
Shake a bit
What's
these
his name?
days. I love a bit of Black Sabbath.
Phil Collins, he did the drumming for that. I can feel it
Right.
coming in
More
the air
like Grant
tonight.
Mitchell. You'll come in the air if you go in the toilets for George Michael, that's for sure.
Right, come on. That's enough of that. We're not even talking about West Ham now. This is ridiculous. You know.
Yeah,
Next
this
you'll
is
be
a
on
family
about-
channel, ladies and gentlemen. I have to apologise for my
Next you'll be
outburst.
talking about motorbikes and stuff like that. You're guaranteed to get me here for another year.
Right,
hour or
I'm
so.
going. See you later. on.
Right, I'm going as well.
Right,
Everybody,
see you later.
let's have a great team, great game. Up
See
the
you all
Hammers.
tomorrow.
All right, ta-da.
Up the Hammers. Irons.